What if you could speak any language fluently, without grammar drills, without wasting years on apps, and without sitting in boring classes? This is in theory. I've used this method to learn over a dozen languages, and I'm going to show you how to get fluent in months, maybe even in weeks. In this video, you'll learn the 3 things that actually make you fluent, why most language methods waste your time, and how to train your brain to speak in real conversations automatically. I didn't figure this out because I'm smart. I just stopped doing what doesn't work. No more passive apps, no more grammar textbooks, no more so-called immersion and hoping to learn. I focused on 3 things, and it changed everything. This is how you learn any language fast. Let's break it down. To get fluent, you need 3 things: vocabulary, words to express yourself; pronunciation, the ability to recognize and say those words the right way; and speaking practice, real output, not just watching. And that's it. Miss any one of these and you'll stay stuck for years. Let's start with vocabulary. You need to learn around 10,000 words to learn a language. That number might sound insane, but it's really not if you do this the right way. Most people memorize lists or watch videos with subtitles or hope they'll just pick it up by listening or immersion or anything like that. And none of that works. Here's what works best: mnemonic associations. You turn each word into a vivid mental image. You tie that word to a picture in your mind, something weird or funny or memorable. Your brain loves this. You retain words 10 times faster this way. I've memorized over 100 words per day for years, and so do my students. And within weeks, you can understand 99% of what you read and hear in the language. Flashcards alone won't cut it. They're slow. And spaced repetition is useful but also very slow, unless you combine it with mnemonics. So first, attack vocab hard. Start with verbs, adjectives, and nouns, all the common words. Learn them fast and learn them smart. The next thing is grammar. Let me tell you something you won't hear in school. You don't need to study grammar at all. You didn't learn your native language by filling out worksheets. You learned it by listening a lot and repeating it a lot until you learned all the patterns. And that's how adults should learn too. You need to stop treating it like school. So stop grinding grammar books because it's useless. If you're unsure about something, look it up. Use grammar like a dictionary, but not like a subject you need to study. Now, let's talk about input. Reading, listening, immersion, comprehensible input, all of that. A lot of people love to say that comprehensible input is the only thing you need. But here's the catch. If you don't know the words, you won't understand the input. And if you don't understand, you're not learning. It's just wishful thinking. So flip the script. First learn the vocab and then flood your brain with input. Once you know a few thousand words, every sentence you read or listen to becomes a lesson in grammar. Also context and pronunciation if you listen. But even with vocabulary and input, you won't become fluent unless you do this next thing. Are you ready? Speaking. A lot. Yeah. In order to speak well, you need to speak a lot. You don't learn to box by watching boxing fights, right? You don't learn to play piano by watching concerts. And you don't learn to speak a language by watching YouTube videos. Speaking is a physical skill. It's messy, can be awkward, and you can only get better at it by doing it a lot, not by dreaming about it. So here's what I recommend. Language islands. You write out everything you want to say in the language, then you translate it, you create audio files, and you read and listen to it and repeat it aloud a lot. These language islands become your starting point, your comfort zone in the new language. You can learn to talk about your job, your family, your hobbies, traveling. You can tell different stories, all the basic things that you normally talk about. Repeat these sentences until they flow naturally. Create audio files of them, listen to them, shadow them 1,000 times, as many times as necessary until you can say them flawlessly. And then practice active recall. Read the sentences in English and try to say them in the target language. And then check and fix your mistakes. This combo, shadowing plus active recall, is unbelievably powerful. You'll train your ear, your mouth, and your brain. You'll start thinking in the new language. And most importantly, you'll stop hesitating. You'll just flow. So here's the formula for fluency. First, learn all the words using mnemonics. Then read and listen a lot to internalize grammar and review all those words in context. And then speak as much as you can, starting with your language islands. Do lots of shadowing and active recall, and then slowly transition to real conversations. This method works insanely fast. It works way better than any app, way better than grammar books, way better than all that comprehensible input nonsense, This is the fastest way to learn a language. I've used this with over a dozen languages and thousands of my students have become fluent with it. And it will work for you as well, if you actually do it. So you can continue wasting years in classes and watching YouTube, or you can grind smart for a few weeks and start speaking for real. If you want to test this method yourself, join my free 7-day challenge. You learn your first 150 real conversational sentences in just 1 week. The link is in the description. Hit like if this helped and subscribe if you're serious about fluency. Now let me know in the comments, what languages are you learning right now? Let's make this the year you actually get fluent. No more waiting, let's go.